I'm heartbroken by the actions of the National Assembly. In a normal civilized society where democracy, where the rule of law, where check and balance work, today they should have invited the president to the National Assembly at the joint sitting. This is not about Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's about the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. People try to personalize every institution of this country. It's not about him. A 40 years old guy could have been a president. A 35-year-old guy could be a president. Anybody could be, as long as you are a citizen of this country and you have all the prerequisite requirement to be president. But the presidency must not be seen to undermine our constitution, to undermine our laws and regulations of how we do things. We have norms, we have traditions. These are things that you should not break. You cannot say that as National Assembly that you have passed a tax reform bill and it has become a tax reform act. And then the one that is gazetted is totally different than what you have passed. And yet we are not seeing any seriousness, apart from the House of Rep member from Sokoto who made the objection. What did you see with any of the House members agitated about it? All they care about is that they do not want to offend the president. All they care about is their second-term ticket to come in 2027. These people are not there to serve the interest of our people. And it is clear that if this tax reform act it is not suspended, then we'll be riding on illegality. It should be suspended. And for every Nigerian that is calling for the suspension, they're on the right track. I heard that some of our friends and some of our brothers who are in the opposition have gone to court, like Dino Melai. But we must do all we can because see, democracy does not just survive by all these things alone. You need advocacy, you need commitment of people, you need people who will be able to come out and protest peacefully to make sure that certain things that government is doing to force through our throat, we must not allow it to pass. This law will be standing on an illegal operational table if we allow it to continue. Whatever the president have done is a crime. Whatever those who printed it have done is a crime. We must get to the root of it and investigate it so that we will know whether we are certain other acts or laws that have been passed in the past are also being undermined, because this is totally annoying and totally unacceptable by me, and is an irresponsible thing coming from the National Assembly that the certain automaton has not been issued, whether to the Minister of Finance, whether to the CBN governor, to the chairman of FIRS, and all these other agencies. They should have been given letter to appear before them so that we can see who was responsibly in altering whatever that was passed at the floor of the National Assembly.
Is Cook planning to unite behind any presidential candidate in 2027, or will we still see everybody standing on his own and making way for the ruling party the way they made it for them in 2019 and 2023?
In 2023, people should not even just the mistake for 2023. Nigerians did magic. My brother, I've been in party management. I've never seen such a thing. We have always wished for it. We've dreamt about them. We've never seen when Nigeria took a person, a candidate, from a point of no councillor, no local government chairman, no governor, no senator, no House of Rep. And you could see some big opposition figure was talking about it and say, let him go and run. How can he win? But eventually it came up. And that election was stolen. Because you look at the data available, you know that Nigerians were able to, cast their vote. So I do not want a situation where this narrative that was put outside the public by APC, saying that it was the opposition division that made them to win. No, the opposition were not divided because it's all about the electoral vote. If the people can vote, each person vote counts. We can get a person to be elected at any time. But that does not mean that I do not want the opposition to come together. I want them to all come together in one basket, having one formidable candidate that has a public accept, that the public accept, that has the public appeal, that people feel connected to, and with the right messaging. Because it's about messaging. It's about people seeing the level of integrity that you have had over the years, because sustaining integrity is not easy. It's not a one-off thing that will just show you once you rejected something. In ability to see that those who can come to government, because if the opposition must win, and if we must come together and unite, we must know that we must also look at what will the people accept, what will entice the people to go out to go and cast their vote, like what we saw in 2023, where people were, people were injured, people were beaten. They still went out after treatment to go and cast their vote because they saw something that they feel they could give up their life for. But if you are bringing a kite and say because a person is a politician and that's why we must make him a candidate, or because people can manipulate primaries, because primaries is not really the true reflection of what a popular election should be. Even in Trump's era, When the party saw that Trump was the most acceptable for the second term, the majority of the highly placed Republicans stayed away because they needed to win and get back to power. Our focus as opposition is to get to power. And for COP, what we have done and the agreement with our members is that we continue to move. And if we have an assembly, because we'll call it assembly, and we meet in assembly and we discover that this candidate meets our criteria, meets our, all the necessary checklists to be able to, run as president of this country, then we'll make official pronouncement. But for now, it is necessary that the opposition come together, but they should not make it feel like the people will not know what to do. The people can always decide who will govern them, even, without all the necessary big weight being there. But the big weight being there, we add more, more momentum to the struggle of the citizens to be able to see that the government that works for their interests is put in place come 2027.
What is likely to be COP's plan B or next line of action if the likes of P2B, Atiku, and other big political figures fail to unite ahead of 2027? Do you have any plan B?
We will speak to Nigerians. We will speak to their conscience. We will beg them to, continue their commitment to, saving this country from the hands of the hawks that have hijacked it, and making sure that they come out, and not get discouraged, because the glitches that happened in 2023, which was, I feel, is a deliberate thing, because there's no way you can define it, because it's not a deliberate thing. Why are you not opening your books? Why are you not calling for independent inquiry? Why are you not allowing people to come and say, oh, this is what happened? So people should not be discouraged. You don't expect to throw this level of shot that you have done and then make sure that you get a goal. Big professional footballers miss penalties. So we should see as citizens what we've done is as a foundation, and it has been recorded in annals of history that Nigerians woke up in 2023 and said, no, we want to show you that we are the structure. We want to show you that there's no money bags that can determine continuously determine that they must continue to rotate themselves in power. That we can take a man from Massacre, we can take a man from Agege, we can take a man from Aba, we can take a man from Ogugu, and make that man the president of this country. So that is kind of belief that Nigerians had in 2023. Yes, their spirit is weak. They are not as strong as they were in 2023, and they are trying to beat up with a lot of narrative, and we can't do it again. Because when you are defeated in a way that you are cheated, you feel as if I do it again, they will still steal it. But I think the mistakes we made were that there were no proper agents at the polling unit. In close to 90% of the polling unit, there were no agents for that, for P2B at the polling unit. And that also affected the process, because most people believe that the promise that INEC made, that result will be transmitted directly from the polling unit. It is not it's not something that is rocket science. Ghana did it. Even the Ghana sitting vice president that contested said he considered defeat, because when they saw that the upload of results at about 80-something%, showing that his opponent had won, there's no choice than to concede defeat. Transparency takes away all this mistrust and mutual disaffection that we have against ourselves. So if you have a center where there's a control and panel for the election, especially for data collection, they should allow agents of political parties to also be present in those meetings, in that data control unit.